Welcome to Infinity Within, a coaching podcast put on by myself, Nita Kruger, completely free to you. Now, I don't want you to think that or get the idea that that means less value because I am working like crazy cakes to put together the most powerful coaching sessions for you to help you move forward and based off of a life lived, right? I've been there. I have been through the depths of my own hell, and I have and continue to climb out of and learn deeper, healthier, new things. And I'm going to share with you today where it all began. Because it didn't begin with me knowing that I was in spaces of trauma or abuse or unhealthiness. I had no idea. When you're born into something that is toxic, that toxic water feels like home. It feels normal. Those toxic energies just like your intuition says something ain't right here, but everything around you is trained to shut up and survive. And I did for years. But here is a key. Before I was ever able to take that very first tiny little step and begin to set boundaries and say no and action my life to a healthier life, I had to first become aware and believe. I had to believe that a healthier, I'm going to use the word better, safer life existed. I had to allow myself to dream. And I had to believe, I had to finally get to the spot where I believed that that dream, that the only thing holding me back from that dream was me. It wasn't the abusers around me. It wasn't the toxic waters I was swimming in and normalized. It wasn't the PTSD attacks. It wasn't the anxiety. It wasn't the running thoughts. It wasn't the depression, the suicidal ideation. It was me. It was my fear, my lack of just run at the brass ring and grab for it. It was my own terror of what other people's expectations were of me that wouldn't allow me to dream it and then just allow it to happen, to do the work, to let go of all the control, and to just keep moving forward in the direction that I knew was going to create a path to the dreams that I wanted. So today is an exciting day. Today we are going to do dream it, allow it. We are going to dismantle, what keeps us from dreaming? What is keeping you from just envisioning the biggest, boldest life that you could live? I have kids in my house right now, a mom with kids living at home. And one of the dreams that has come about in the last few months is being owners of horses again. And I say again because I've had horses in my life. And it is an interesting thing. When my children came to me, multiple, I'm not going to go into the details of who, what, where, what. I'm just going to lump it under kids. When kids came to me with this dream of, I want to own horses again. Well, I'm saying again. For them, it's not an again. But we don't have horses right now. I have many of the things to get us to horses, but I don't have a setup right now for horses. So as a parent, I have a choice. I can go, woo, build that dream. How would you make that a reality? How could we as a family incorporate your dream into our reality? Or I could have made the conscious choice of saying, that dream is out of bounds. There is no way that dream's going to become a reality, and just shut it down. Who am I to shut down their dream? Who am I to shut down somebody else's dream? Now, some things just are not realistic, and you can postpone a kid's dream. You can postpone your own dream if your reality deems that you have to do other things first. For instance, it is really, really difficult to dream of a brighter future when we are underwater in clinical depression, when we are facing suicidal thoughts, when we are in the depths and throes of an addiction, when we are consumed with just trying to stay alive in a home of abuse, when we are living in poverty. It is really hard to see those dreams. And I would challenge, and I would provide my own path as reason and evidence enough that it is so vital that we allow ourselves the dream, that we visualize the dream, that we embody the dream, that we put energy towards the dream. Because if we can dream it, if we can see it, we can begin to energetically create a life where that dream is actioned into reality. If your dream is to have a safe and healthy home, and the steps that you need to take to get there or to stop abuse, there are so many resources available to you right now to break free of the abuse, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you have children or do not have children. There are resources available to you right now. Pause this podcast and go Google it. Google it on a very safe computer where you can hit exit and it will wipe out all history of that Google search. Having been on the end of digital stalking, I know the extents to which you can be stalked, and it isn't fun, and it isn't pretty, and it is so much deeper than just your technology. Your current reality does not define or deny you the right to your dreams. The life I'm living right now, 5 years ago, was such a fantasy. Was such a freaking fantasy. I can't even begin to express to you the honestly, this life, right this very moment that I am living, was not even a fully visualized dream 5 years ago. It would have been a fleeting, wispy fantasy. It wasn't until I got into therapy that I could crystallize the dream and begin applying energy towards the dream. So what is the dream? What is the dream that you have? I know something in your heart, something in your soul, like something from deep inside your subconscious is just bursting through that core energy part of you, that soul part of you that's coming out of your heart energy. I can just feel it bursting. I can feel the brightness, the light of it. And it might be too big to say out loud at this particular moment. And that's okay. It's okay for your dream to be so magnificent that you can't even say it out loud yet. But I'm here to tell you that you get the right to allow it. If you can journal about it, I would encourage you to journal about it, visualize it. I would encourage you to create a vision board. I wanted to say a visualization board, but create a visual representation of the life that you dream of for yourself. It is just one more evidencer that the energy you put towards that life will continue in motion and pick up momentum and begin to build the life that you are dreaming of. If you are surrounded by naysayers, if you are surrounded by people who are stealing your joy, who are telling you that your dreams are impossible, I'm going to ask you a really direct question. Why are you around these people? Now, I'm not talking about people who are trying to hold you accountable or asking you difficult questions or wanting to have difficult conversations with you. I'm not talking about those people. I am talking about the people who just see your dream and go, that'll never happen. You're too stupid for that. You're too fat for that. You're never going to get there. I don't even know why you're bothering. Those are the people I'm talking about. Those are the people that I'm asking you, why are they allowed space? Not asking you to do anything about it at this moment. I just want you to build an awareness of the life that you're living right now. I want to ask you to create a visual portal. If you want to close your eyes, take a deep breath. Sometimes you'll see me, like I lift my arms way over my head. Really bring that breath in and then let it out and allow that vision to flood my body, that dream to flood my body, for me to feel the energy of it. If I can see my path, if I can see the end, let's just say I can only see the result, that is enough for today. And nobody at all gets the right to tell me that my dream is wrong, is unattainable, is impractical. I'm the only person who gets to adjust that dream. And I can only adjust it as I begin to learn and understand more about me, as I get to know the person within. And remember, this is infinity within. We are infinite in possibility, baby. Nobody gets to slow down who we are meant to be. And by the very fact that you were born, you were already set on a catapulting path to the dream. And all of the ugly things, all the hatred, all the lies, all of the things that have tried to stop you and control you and steal you from the dream that you are seeing, those are the things that I'm asking you to question. I'm asking you to sweep those things out of your path. I'm asking you to reach out for the help that you deserve and the help that you need. I'm asking you to call a support line. I'm asking you to go to a support group if that's your calling for healing. I'm asking you to pick up a book, go to a coaching session, listen to another podcast, do the work. I'm asking you to get a therapist in whatever kind of trauma that you need to heal from. Okay? This is really important work. And Dream It, Allow It goes perfectly with the conversation that we have been having since relaunching season 4 of Infinity Within Coaching Possibilities. Why? Because if we become aware of it and we accept it, and we look deeply at our fear, those are the first 3 episodes of the Infinity Within Coaching podcast for season 4. If we do those things, it does no good if we don't have a purpose to move forward to, a dream. And hopefully in the last episode, you got a glimpse in that visualization of the dream that your intuition, that your core self wants for you. That dream is critical. It is critical to you progressing because you have to be able to see it. You have to be able to know that it's there, no matter how silly it might sound to you or to the people around you. My dreams, the one I'm living right now, sounded really silly the first time that I said it out loud. But the more that I sat with it, the more that I worked with it, the more that I gave energy to it, the more I began to realize I was living in, walking in, and realizing the dream. And the dream wasn't just a dream, it was my calling. Has it been easy? Not every day. But has it been the right course for me every single day? Yes, it has. Even the people that I've lost along the journey where I thought my heart and my very soul would be ripped out of my chest, it was the right choice, the right turn, the right pivot, the right path. Because the things that are meant to fuel your passion, the things that are meant to actually boost your energy, your energetic soul, those things that are meant for you to do that, they will come into your life at the most unexpected moments. And if you are courageous enough to allow what comes, allow the lessons, allow the hurt, embrace the joy. If you are courageous enough to allow what comes to come and what leaves to leave, and you just keep pushing energy towards that dream, you will walk within that dream. You will. Whatever, you've probably heard the old adage, whatever you water grows, whatever you care for grows, whatever you freely give of yourself without expectation is going to receive that. Does it mean that you're going to get all of your needs back from it? No, it doesn't mean that. But if it's the right person, place, or thing, it is going to reflect back to you what you put in. You will not have to beg. You will not have to chase. You will not have to do anything other than be the beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely stunning soul that you are, showing up, reflecting your energy towards your dream. Now, how do I know that? Because that's what I've lived. That's what I have evidenced to myself time and time again. And I've pulled myself just barely, breath by breath, through some really dark spaces, some really horrifically, disgustingly terrifying realities. And I believe that you are resilient enough to do that as well. So why dream it, allow it? Okay, we've talked about the dream it. You've got to have that vision that a better life is capable for you in order to take the steps necessary to even get to the point where you can allow yourself the right to dream it. Right? If you have just, I remember in the beginning, I would have just these flashes. And it's the same dream that I knew as a young child. I was meant to be a writer, but not a traditional kind of writer who writes beautiful stories of characters of fiction. And I consider that to be a more traditional kind of writer, at least in the upbringing that I had, that was the kind of writer that anybody would want to be. My writing is meant to help and clarify and crystallize people with their soul's destiny, with who they are meant to be. It took me decades of even getting to the point where I understood that my writing isn't what everybody else expected it to be. It is what I developed it to be. It's what my calling is. But a lot of people who were calling it lots of different ugly names had to be pushed out of the way. And why did they have to be pushed out of the way? Because they couldn't allow my light to just shine out into the world. They had to control it. They had to belittle it, beat it down. They had to try and stomp it out and make it what they needed it to be. They needed me to be small so they could feel big. They had to reject it. They had to make it invisible because that hurt and pain that it caused me is what fed their lacking egos and their toil of narcissistic, disgusting desires. So when you dream it, it's about becoming just a smidge independent. If you're way down the road in dreaming it, then you know that allowing your dream and putting it on paper, putting it on a vision board, putting it in front of you, creating and working your energy toward it is a massive act of self-love. There's a huge amount of trauma work that comes around the dream it. And allow it requires even more self-work. Why does it require more self-work? Because everything, if you've had a traumatic experience or a traumatic past, you want to be through it and past it. And it's very difficult to slow down and experience the growth and the change that's required to get out of it. When I was gripped by rolling PTSD and panic attacks for almost 2.5 years, it was insanely difficult to even imagine that I could be at a spot where I wasn't gripped by panic and PTSD 24/7. But what it took was me getting real about who was teaching me to get there. And I had to get real with myself about what I actually needed. And I needed a guide who had broader skills than anything I could have ever imagined. We just don't know who's out there ready and willing to help us until we get really real about what's happening within us. We are not meant to live with a nervous system activated in survival mode, in chaos and turmoil all the time, or even part of the time. We are meant to be able to handle difficult situations as they come to us. We are meant not to react with anger and panic and rage 24/7. Those are not healthy spaces. Those are spaces where we're trying to control. We're not allowing and learning and growing and evolving. What I'm asking you to do is to dream it and allow it, to let go of the control, to allow those experiences to come and to allow yourself to find the appropriate guide to help regulate your nervous system, change the life that you're living, and energize, like activate that energy moving towards the dream life that you envision for yourself. It is so critical. I mean, it is insanely critical that you get it in your head right this very moment, right? And you know who you are out there that I'm speaking to right now. If there is one area of your life that is just like nails on a chalkboard, and if you like that, I'm not talking to you about that sound then. Think of a disgusting, horrible, traumatic sound, right? For me, it's nails on a chalkboard. But if you are feeling that about a situation in your life, then that right there is the closest thing to you, and that is what you need to focus on. You need to dream beyond that person, that place, that thing that is literally sucking the joy out of you. You need to think beyond, because there is a life beyond that horrible experience that you are having. There is a life that is meant for you. And I know this. I know this to be true because you were brought onto the world with a particular purpose and a particular joy and a particular passion to share with the world. And it's up to you to uncover that light and to feed it and to fuel it and to chase your dreams and allow whatever comes to come. and to just grow through all of those experiences. They're hard and they're real and they're valid, but they don't have to own you and consume you. So, as we close out today's episode on Dream It, Allow It, let's recap. In order for you to change the life that you're living, you have to have a vision of something better. And I remember being at a point where my codependency was so strong that my dreams, I was so guilty and ashamed of having those dreams because I believed that everything about my life was to be in service, of the more dominant, controlling, trauma-inducing personalities. And then it just became a part of survival. The rage was so profound and so controlling and so horrendous and so terrifying. And the stalking that I literally just was in survival mode. But my intuition and my instinct said this was not normal. This was not okay. This was not healthy. And this was not the life that I was meant to live. And the moment that the universe opened a door to me, I allowed myself to grab that hand reaching out to help me. And I never let go. And that is the purpose. We must be able to dream that we have the right to a better life, and then we have to allow ourselves to grab the opportunities that come in front of us to move us towards a healthier life. Dream it, allow it. You cannot control your way to a healthier life. You'll get stuck and you'll have those blocks, those energy blocks. You'll hit brick walls. You'll feel like you're not moving forward. And when you're not moving forward, you have to really take a good hard look at yourself. What am I bringing to the table? What am I doing that is going so wrong? I remember a change in my own work that I was doing, and I was losing my business partner at the time, and somebody who was just so important to me, not losing like death, just going separate directions. And I didn't understand it, and everything in me fought it. I fought it to the point where I got physically ill. I just couldn't believe. I just wanted this person to be who I expected them to be. And that was completely unfair for both of us. Eventually, I did enough work to let go and to drift our separate ways. And that turned out to be the most courageous thing for both of us. It allowed me to forgive hurts, and I hope it allowed the other person to forgive hurts, and it allowed us to go to our true callings. Well, it allowed me to go to my true calling. I hope that other person has gone to their true calling as well. If I had wasted another year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years fighting for what I expected, for what they once gave me a glimmer of, what a waste of my life that would have been. What a waste of my life trying to get other people farther back and beyond that relationship, of getting those people to try and see my value, to see how good the life that we once talked about could be. Chasing and controlling a future that isn't meant for you will be nothing but fraught with disaster. It will be nothing at all like the dream that your core self wants to burst forth out of you. When you get on the right path and you allow whatever comes and whatever leaves, if you allow that and you have a guide or multiple guides, therapists, coaches, support groups, journaling around you, multiple grounding tools around you, you will make it through anything with an unstoppable and unspeakable passion for what comes next. Because what the universe will bring in front of you will be so much more beautiful than anything you could have ever imagined. The life I'm living right now, the life where I'm allowing kids to have their dream and their energy poured towards horses. This life has brought the most powerful and magnetic people in front of me. And one of them, right at this very moment, is flying at 500 plus miles per hour at 34,000 feet over Iceland just to come and see me, to come and witness this person who just keeps chasing her dreams. The world will bring you amazing and beautiful gifts when you least expect it, if you are true to yourself. And that is what I'm asking you to do in today's episode. Dream it, allow it. The coaching conversation, not a lot of homework with this one other than to get really real. Give yourself some privacy, give yourself some space, get out the journal book, get out some magazines and some glue, cut up some stuff, create a vision board. However you want to get to the point of visualizing a life that your intuition is telling you that's what you should be doing. And then stop at nothing. Stop at nothing to work towards that life. Because you deserve it and you are worthy of it. And you pull out an affirmation book, but you are worthy of the dream and you are worthy of allowing things to flow in and flow out of your life and allowing yourself to reach out for the help that you need, the tools that you need, the resources that you need to go for the dream. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this coaching episode of Dream It, Allow It, where we are continuing to have and build a conversation, ever deepening conversation about the infinity within, the possibilities, the infinite possibilities within you. We are exploring the boundless energy that is in you. I believe in you. And I hope that after today's conversation, that you have settled a bit more into believing that you have the right to those dreams and you have the right to push your energy towards those dreams. Dream it, allow it. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.